structure of DNA. In this part, first we will study what is nucleic acid. What is nucleic acid? First part we will study here. Second thing we will study what is DNA, RNA. In this we will study what are the components, structure, properties. Okay. Okay. So in nucleic acid, first we have to know what is nucleotide. Okay. Nucleotide is a single monomer unit which is get polymerized to form polynucleotide, which is a polymer unit. Okay. So now here we can, first of all we have to know that the nucleic acid is of two types. It is a DNA and RNA. And if suppose this polynucleotide is present in single strand, if it is in single strand, this polynucleotide will be said to be RNA molecule. If it is a single nucleotide, means one chain. If it is double stranded means here you have a one nucleotide chain, like that. If two nucleotide chain are present, okay, and both nucleotide chain are hydrogen bonded, this is your hydrogen bond, then it's said to be DNA. So simply we can say that nucleotide, the repetitive polymerization of this nucleotide will make the polynucleotide. If the strand is in the single form, then it's called RNA, and if it is a double stranded, means two nucleotide chain are present and both nucleotide chain are hydrogen bonded, then they are called DNA. Okay? Now, the main thing we have to know here, that is a nucleotide. So I will classify or divide the nucleotide into three parts. Okay? Nucleotide will be into three parts. See, in all living organisms, either DNA or RNA will be acting as a genetic material. Never both. Never both. Like in human, DNA is acting as a genetic material. In bacteria, depending, then again DNA is of further type, circular DNA, linear DNA, like that. But in some viruses like polio virus, AIDS virus, they all have RNA as a genetic material. Clear? Reovirus, retrovirus, influenza virus, polio virus, Eps virus, all having RNA as a genetic material. So never, both are not going to be the genetic material. Either one will be the genetic material. Clear? So we come to know that DNA is a long chain of polynucleotide which is made up of a single unit which is called nucleotide. But again, this nucleotide is made up of three subunits: nitrogenous base, here, pentose sugar and phosphorus. Okay. Now, nitrogenous base is of two types. That is your purine and pyrimidine. Okay. Purine is your double ring structure. And pyrimidine is your single ring structure. Pentose sugar is of two types again, ribose sugar and deoxyribose sugar. Clear? Now you can draw this. Clear? Can I rub it? Now we will see nitrogenous base. Clear? So in nitrogenous base, we are going to see your purine and pyrimidine molecule. Purine and pyrimidine. As I told that purine is your double ring structure, then the general structure for purine will be okay. So the location is counting from here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then 7, 8, 9. Clear? So in purine, nitrogen is present at first, third, seventh and ninth position of the ring structure. This extra ring is called imidazole ring. Okay. Now, pyrimidine is your single ring structure. Then structure will lie like this. One, two, three. This is your four. This is your five carbon. This is your six carbon. Okay. This carbon is your carbon chain. Okay. This is your single double ring. This is your single ring. Okay. Okay. So now we will see the types of purine. Okay. We have a two type. What are they? Adenine and guanine. And what about pyrimidine? Pyrimidine is of three types. Good. Adenine, cytosine, and uracil. Now the structure of adenine will be like this. Here is your NH2. This is your carbon, nitrogen. This is your carbon chain, it will be H here. H here. This is your NH2 group. This is name this group ammonia group. Yeah. So it is located like that. You have to see the nitrogen first. In first nitrogen, this, then this nitrogen, then we have a double bond here, then we have a double bond here also. Clear? Now its naming will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is called 6 amino purine. Now in this guanine structure, the structure is little bit same, but the location of this ammonia group will shift and everything will be the same. So it will be like this. Yes. So in second carbon you have ammonia group, and in the sixth carbon you have a oxy group. And everything is as it is. The double bond will be here.
That oxygen in
Yeah. This is your oxygen double bond, ammonia, oxy group. That's why it's called 2 amino 6 oxy purine. If you come to the cytosine part, cytosine is a pyrimidine, that means it has a single ring. So your single ring will be represented as like this. Okay. This having your NH2 group. double bond. This is your H. This is your H. Double bond. This carbon has oxy group. Next is your thymine. Thymine is again like that. It has oxy group here. It has CH3 group, double bond. This has H group. This is your H. This will again contain oxy group now again. Here, uracil is exactly same like thymine, but this methane group will be absent in urine, in thymine and uracil. So the structure will be as it is, like thymine. Here, this is the double bond O. This is the H. This is your H. This one having the H. And this will be a double bond O. Here you have a CH3, now you have only hydrogen H. These are the structure of nitrogenous base. You can see in this thymine, simply you can check the valencies. This carbon has 4 valency, 1, 2, 3, 4, fulfilled. This carbon 1, 2, 3, 4. Everything is fulfilled. Here, have you drawn? Okay. Now we have to see ribose sugar, pentose sugar. In nucleic acid, the pentose sugar is of two types. Ribose sugar and deoxyribose sugar. Pentose sugar means sugar which is made up of 5 carbon. Clear? So this is your sugar. Clear? See? Yeah, you can count the carbon from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is your 5th carbon. So 5 carbon you have. In deoxyribose sugar, the structure will be same.
There are also H, not O, is there?
Where?
That second.
Yeah, here there is no oxygen. That's the difference between ribose sugar and deoxyribose sugar. So simply we can say can see here deoxy means deficiency of oxygen at carbon number 2 is your deoxyribose. Hmm? Here. Now, the last molecule is your phosphate. Phosphate group. So, phosphate group is like this. Here. Now, once again, we will go to the nucleotide. Nucleotide is made up of 3 parts. That is your nitrogenous base, pentose sugar, and phosphate. Now you can see here, if nitrogenous base and pentose sugar are present, they form nucleoside. Okay, nucleoside will be equal to your nitrogenous base plus sugar. When nitrogenous base and phosphate combines, they form nucleotide. Clear? So simple, you can see that nucleotide will be your nitrogenous base plus sugar plus phosphate. Or simply you can say nucleoside plus phosphate. Clear? So today we will draw the structure of the DNA. Okay? I am showing you the random structure. Suppose this is your nitrogenous base. I am calling it as adenine. Suppose this is your again nitrogenous base. I am calling it thymine. I have another nitrogenous base. I am calling as a C, and I have another nitrogenous base. I am calling it as a G. Okay. We have a pentose sugar here. This is your fifth carbon, C5, which is free. Okay. Now, see, your nitrogenous base and your sugar will be joined by glycosidic bond. This bond is a glycosidic bond. Okay. Base will be bind with sugar by glycosidic bond.
Only three sugars is there? Three sugars.
I am taking only 3 sugar here. You can draw once. One more here also. Not an issue. This is your fifth carbon, and this is your third carbon. Here. Now see here. I will give you time to write. Okay. So now a phosphate will be there, which is joined by this and this. So this is your phosphodiester bond. Phosphodiester bond. The bond between sugar and phosphate. That bond is called phosphodiester bond. Okay? So you are seeing that in this strand, fifth carbon is free and 3 carbon is free. Clear? Clear? That's why one strand is 5 to 3, another is 3 to 5. Now see why 3 to 5. So I have taken here A, so it will be T. This will be your A. This will be your G. And this will be your C. And you have a pentose sugar here also. Again, this is bind with this, and with this is bind with this is bind with another.
Nitrogen is no order.
Which one?
Nitrogen is no order.
Nitro.
Everything.
Yeah, they don't have any fixed order. It may be variable. Any set of nitrogen base you can keep. T, A, G, C, substitute. Okay. Now these two will be bind with phosphate. These two will be bind with phosphate. These two will bind with phosphate. And you can see the sequences: 1 carbon, 2 carbon, 3 carbon, 4, and this fifth carbon will be free. Is it? In this, 1 is busy with the glycosidic bond, 2 is free,
Cheese.
3 is free. That's why this is called as 3 to 5. That is the concept. And one more thing is there here, that each and every purine will be bind with pyrimidine. Here purine is A and pyrimidine is T by double hydrogen bond between A and T. And between C and G there is triple hydrogen bond. If one side you have drawn, you can draw the opposite side. Can you rub it? So if suppose you want to draw the RNA structure, then this is your RNA.
Which one? This one.
Only T will be replaced by
G is not there.
so okay, you can keep A U.
Yes.
U is there, that means it is the RNA. Else, one more thing you have to keep in the mind that this sugar is your ribose sugar.
Sugar.
Yeah,
In RNA.
in RNA.
Yes.
Okay, in deoxyribose sugar will be present in DNA. Now we will see the structure. So first thing, if this strand is 5 to 3, then this will be 3 to 5. First point in this we can write that both nucleotide chain are in anti-parallel direction. Clear? Anti-parallel. Okay. Second thing,
Helical structure.
yeah. So why it is in helical structure? Helical structure is due to proper formation of first hydrogen bond, second glycosidic bond, and the third phosphodiester bond. Due to this proper formation of bond, your DNA get spiral structure. Spiral or helical. Clear? Now, one more thing here you have to know, that is your third main point, that base, sugar and phosphate are making your backbone of the structure, and hydrogen bond is step which we have in the ladder here. So the two wheels, yeah, this part. Here, now in this structure we are seeing that there is a groove. The DNA is, the strand is inward folded. Yes. So this is called major groove, and this will be your minor groove. Then again this side is your major groove. Major groove means that space is more in between this. It's like a ditch.
The space is more like
Yeah, that the Space is more inside. Okay, major, then again minor. So major and minor are coming alternately. Okay. So now what we will do, we will try to uh, make it uncoiled. Now I'm going to do the uncoiling of DNA, and I will represent the DNA as a linear form. Okay. This is the 3 5, and this is your 5. So now this was your major group, is it? Then minor, then again major. So this is your one complete circle. This part is your one circle. This is a half circle, and then again this is the half circle. When you will make it proper, then it will become circle. So that's why this part is your one circle. Here, this is your loop. That means one circle having two loops. Here, let me draw it clear to you. This and this. So this was your one circle. Okay, two loop, also called one helix, helical structure, and it has 5 nitrogenous base pairing.
Only 5 nitrogen.
Yeah. See here, one loop having 5 nitrogenous base pairing, then you complete one circle, total base pairing will be 10. See? Now, the total distance between this one circle is around 34 angstrom, or equal to 3.4 nanometer. 3.4 nanometer. Then what will be the distance between these two bonds? 3.4, sorry, 3.4 nanometer is the full length of this one circle.
It's divided by
10. Divided by 10. How many are there? 10.
Yeah.
Then it will be,
one loop is 5.
yeah. Then its length will be around 3.4 angstrom, or 0.34 nanometer. Is it? So can you tell me if the length of DNA is 640 nanometer, calculate the total number of nitrogenous base pair.
640 divided by 10.
I have given the length of the DNA. The length of the DNA is 640 nanometer, and I am asking what is the total number of base pair in that DNA has.
40 nanometer divided by 3 point.
No. See, we have a relation that 10 base pair will be there in how much length? 33.4 nanometer. Okay. So one base pair will be how much? 3.4 divided by 10 nanometer. Okay. Wait, you have to find out the total number of base pair. So this is your relation. Okay. Wait. So find it in 1 nanometer. So in 1 nanometer, the length will be 10 by 3.4. In question, it's given 640 nanometer.
640 nanometer.
So in 640 nanometer, it will be 640 into 10 divided by 3.4. The point will be gone, then it will be 100. How much will be? Calculate. So this will be your answer. Just calculate and you will get the answer. Clear? Get rid of it? So like that you will get one question, might be. Now, so we can say here that one circle is your 2 loop will be your 34 angstrom. Then length of one loop will be how much? 34 divided by 2, 17 angstrom. So this length is this much length is your 17 angstrom, and this is 0.34 nanometer. Clear? Got it? Suppose bases are like this. Then it will be A, this will be your G, C, T, A, G, C, G, T. If one nitrogenous nucleotide having this base sequence, then another will be the complementary base pairing like that. Okay? So this will be binded with double hydrogen bond, triple, 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 double, double, triple, triple and double. Now we have a denaturation. When you will heat the DNA will be get denatured. Denatured in the sense that all hydrogen bond will be broken down, okay, and both the strands will be get separated in denaturation. If DNA bonds broken down and or and exist in fragment. Exist in fragment. So this is your denaturation. Then again we have a renaturation. If the stress is withdrawn, suppose you have given some heat energy, suppose you are taking the heat energy back, then slowly all the bond will be again established. Again the DNA will become active and it will retain its own originality structure. That is called renaturation. Okay, so renaturation is the regain of original structure of DNA by withdrawal of any stress. Withdrawal of any stress. That is your renaturation.
So in this thing structural DNA, what is the asking question?
Till the beginning, till here. All things you have to write. Draw the diagram, write something about it. In structure of DNA. If they are asking, then you have to write all the things. Clear? Now last point of this DNA. These are the properties. If suppose I am asking a base DNA contain 19% A, calculate the percentage of GC Can you do that? It's a double stranded DNA having 19% adenine base. Then how much guanine will be there, how much cytosine will be there, and how much thymine will be there. You have to calculate.
Adenine, thymus, 90%.
Adenine is how much?
90.
Adenine and thymine.
Yeah,
Yeah, that will be the
90. And other, yeah, triple strand, it's double strand. I think triple strand.
See, I'll tell you. Whatever the number of purine will be there, same number of pyrimidine will be there. Is it? If suppose I have taken 100A, then 100T will be there. So that means this ratio is always 100%. Pyrimidine is how much? A and G. This will be your how much? 50%. If suppose I am taking it as 100%, see here, if purine and pyrimidine is total 100%, then purine will be how much? 50% and pyrimidine will be 50%. Clear? Then A is how much? 19% plus G will be 15%. Then G will be how much? 50 minus 19, 31%. Clear? So now A is how much? 19. Then T will be also 19. If G is 31%, then C has to be 31%. When you will add, you will get 100%.